What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and today we're talking about something that is really quite interesting and has a lot of, I guess, concern for it, because there are a lot of issues when it comes to streaming. And the real topic of this is really kind of focusing on the XCloud. If you guys have not seen this, link in the description below. Microsoft obviously at E3 talked about, hey, we're building a cloud streaming platform, and now they're going in the full kind of marketing push to start building up the hype and obviously getting people like me to sit down and talk about it. The reason I think it's interesting and important as a technology is that not only has Sony been doing this, and they've invested big into this, and they've been doing this for a while, and personally having tried it out a couple years ago, wasn't impressed. I think I need to go see how it is doing, because I've always viewed the cloud streaming, architecture and that whole, kind of platform, if you think of it like in that, in that vein, as a future technology, something that we're working on to figure out the kinks, where there's still a lot of hurdles, latency being one of them, the fidelity of the game being, one of them. Why should I bother with this if I don't have internet being a kind of another thing? And I see those as problems that will be solved. It will be solved with faster internet, better connections, obviously more connections, so that when you go about your day in your world, that you have connection to the internet, and thus have connections to your software. Here's where it's interesting, and here's also where I think it applies to some interesting games that we're obviously, we talk about Final Fantasy XIV, for example. A lot of people, a lot of the Switch concept with Final Fantasy XIV on Switch gets people stressed out, especially in the community, who don't want to see Final Fantasy XIV held back by any stretch of the imagination. Cloud streaming, if you don't have to worry about the technology, if you don't have to worry about the speed in which that you're connected, can solve that problem on Switch, and so that the Switch is just a conduit for it. The XCloud concept, I wonder if we'll see Nintendo kind of make a push for this, but if Microsoft is able to, with, not just their gaming unit, but the whole business and industry that is Microsoft, they're a huge company. If they're able to kind of figure that out, that is something that they could easily then license and sell to others. And I'm betting that we might see, if they go that direction, that we'll see Sony go that same direction. You have competing technologies, competing frameworks, to be able to stream your games. What was really cool, what I saw that I liked, is that it's about playing with an Xbox controller via the Bluetooth connection. So they showed them with this little contraption hooked up to their cell phones, playing the games, playing Forza, playing that. Now, obviously, not having hands-on with it, it'll be really exciting. But their little tagline was that this is actual game streaming footage. That was not a rendered target that they showed off. And still, it's video. I mean, how's it going to feel when you go hands-on with it? Is it really going to work the way they say it's going to work is the real question. But I think that, streaming in and of itself, why not put this on a Nintendo Switch? Honestly, I would say, why not even put it on PlayStation? Because I think it's more than just selling a console to you. With cloud streaming, if you can play on your phone, if you've never had an Xbox and it doesn't matter, it's like I honestly see this kind of being almost the evolution of gamepass, so to speak, and then also a technology that they can sell to others. Phil Spencer is out there in Japan right now. He's not watching this, but Phil, for the love of God, please get Final Fantasy XIV on Xbox. That'd be huge. That'd be awesome. As well as like 1,000 other Japanese-based games that are not on your system for no other reason than they probably aren't going to sell well on your system because you don't put games on it. It's a whole cycle. Anyway. At its core, I am, I'm definitely moved by the marketing. I think watching this video, I was like, oh, this could be something interesting. It's something, if nothing else, worth a watch. I also don't think it's going to cut into the console market whatsoever. I think that they're going to position themselves in this way that they can have a streaming solution. Imagine if you will, if you have an Xbox right now, and that with the XCloud that they're working on, the next generation, that you could play next generation games on your current console because you're streaming them, if you've got the internet to do so. Imagine, if you will, a world in which that it doesn't matter what console you play on. Like, think about PlayStation Now coming to the Xbox. Think about PlayStation Now coming to your Switch. Think about Xbox coming to your PlayStation and to your Switch. And so then you, as a consumer, get to experience an ecosystem regardless and independent of hardware. And so the ultimate question, and the thing I leave to you to ponder and maybe to discuss in the comments below, is the cloud the one console future that we've always kind of considered was coming, in which that you can pick and choose and play your services, but your hardware is divorced from that. Your PC is not that. Your Xbox, your PlayStation, your Nintendo. That's something that I'm going to obviously be interested in. I think as we've broken down the walls of crossplay, as we've become more unified as an industry and as gamers together, that the future is bright and beautiful and exciting. And the only problem we have right now, at least that I can see outside of loot boxes and all the other little, crazy issues, but the main problem that I see that impacts me on a day-to-day basis is where will I have the time to play all these games that I want to play? And we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to figure out how we can extend a given day. Anyway, guys, that's just my thoughts. I really think that 14 can run on Switch. I really think that that we're going to see this hopefully move in that direction. It's going to be obviously up to the platform holders. I don't know if they're going to want to have somebody being able to purchase games with another company from their system without them getting any kind of cut. I think there's definitely a business model that can be worked out and hopefully be reached, especially if this is a subscription-based service, which I'm going to venture that it is. I'm going to venture that all of these cloud streaming services are subscription-based. We've already kind of seen that with Live, PSNow, Nintendo Online, and obviously with Game Pass and EA Access. Everything's going into that kind of more microtransaction-y, give us a couple of bucks every month kind of model. Anyway, before this turns into an insanely long video, this is just my reaction to the news. I'm going to keep following this. It is something that interests me. As somebody who has good internet, I'm definitely going to have to check it out. I'm going to have to go check out PSNow again and see how it's evolved over the years since it's been released. But anyway, guys, for Work to Game, my name is Brian. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.
Oh, excuse me. What's up, workforce? Chuck here, telling you should totally like, favorite, subscribe, share, dance, raise your hands in the air. I'm off camera. I'm off frame. I'm new at this. Hey, listen. Yes. You haven't hit that subscribe button. You totally should. I recommend it. Chuck approved. Anyway, also, thanks to all the Patreons. You're in the corners. Whoa!